Welcome back to iBluairJgR Gaming for Comedy. We are diving straight into some duels from the perspective of the Shinobi. He was a very powerful and some might even say overpowered character at the start of Season 2, but since receiving some nerfs to his most powerful move, the kick, he's performing a bit more the way he should. Instead of having this lightning fast ability that's nearly unreactable with a very strong capacity for mix-ups, he has a very powerful ability, but it is reactable. It can't be mixed up as easily, and it only punishes you when you make a mistake or a wrong decision. So we're going up against the Nobushi. She is one of the highest damaging characters in the game, and that is a very terrifying matchup for the Shinobi because he has such a small health pool. Looks like our opponent wants to fight without having to worry about ledges, so we're going to have to oblige them. While we're on the subject, before the duel gets too heated, ledges are always pretty controversial. Some players like them, others don't. I personally like kicking people into holes sometimes or into environmental hazards. It's kind of fun throwing out the zone attack, but the Shinobi's zone attack is relatively safe. The second hit counts as a long-ranged attack, so you cannot be guard broken afterwards, and you can block or parry follow-ups. But already we're seeing the low health pool of the Shinobi coming into play. We've only been hit by one attack, well, two attacks now, and a little bit of chip damage, and we're on our final bar of health. One more heavy attack from the Nobushi will be enough to finish this off, so we've got to be very careful about how we approach. Going for a kick, the super armor gonna allow us to go through, but we've run out of stamina. The guard break was teched, put us on our back, and then she gave us a little bit of spear action, and that did not feel good. So the first round is going to go to the enemy, and make no mistake, she is the enemy because she's not me. I hope you guys think I'm the hero in these duels. I'm the person that you should be cheering for, not the guy that's potentially whooping my ass. So let's see if we can make something better happen in round number 2. Starting off by charging those ranged attacks. The first one is going to connect, getting ready to do another one, then backing away, trying to create some space. The Nobushi zone attack, followed by a... This is ridiculous. Round number 2 has been completely thrown away. I don't even think the enemy Nobushi thought it was going to end so quickly, but at least we get some drama here. We've got a very steep uphill battle to work through if we want to come back. We've got to go 3 flawless rounds in a row if we want the victory. We're charging up those ranged attacks again. I think the Nobushi is still a little bit taken by the fact that she whooped my ass so quickly in the previous round, just taking a moment to soak it all in and appreciate the wombo combo that she did. But she's back and ready to do some damage. The super armor on the kick not going to activate in time, so I'm not going to get any punishment, and I'm already off to a rough start, taking some big damage, doing the double dash, getting the sickle rain combination. That is a big burst of damage, landing a ranged guard break, going for another sickle rain, but our stamina was pretty low, so we opted out of going for any light attacks. The kick going to come out after the hidden stance, so the evasive properties of it aren't going to take effect, and we finished off with a zone attack. So we might be able to come back if we keep playing like that, but it's still very touch and go because of our low health pool. Any mistake will be our last. But one thing to note, we're not seeing many deflects coming out, and it's a very tricky thing, deflecting and parrying in For Honor. If you can't get a good grasp on what the person you're fighting is doing, if you can't seem to predict where they're putting their attacks, then it's very difficult to go for deflects. Now, I did have an opportunity to attempt to kick her off the ledge, but I opted out. And you see we're being very liberal about using the zone attack because it is such a safe maneuver. As long as we're being intelligent about how we defend afterwards, we can keep ourselves safe. And just as I say that, I mess up a little bit, and the Nobushi goes on the offensive, landing a deflect, kicking her away from us, trying to follow up with a heavy attack, but it got blocked. I'm out of stamina on the defensive, dodging out of the way of the kick and the light attack follow-up. The stamina returns, follow-up with a double dash kick of my own, and a guaranteed heavy attack for the finish. We're moving into the final round now. This is what we've been working towards. We've been playing well for these last 2. We've got to continue with the same momentum that we have if we want the victory. And of course, we want the victory. Not going for any ranged attacks this time because the last time we were in this area throwing those around, we got our ass handed to us. The second hit of our heavy attack chain is going to get parried, and 2 guard breaks in a row are going to throw us off. So we're going to take a big chunk of damage. One more hit is going to put us down. The Nobushi ran out of stamina, throwing a ranged guard break. It is going to get teched, put us on our back, but her out of stamina state is going to negate her follow-up. But unfortunately, she's going to land a guard break and follow up with the top heavy, and then slice our damn throat off and let us bleed out on the floor. That is one of the more brutal executions in the game, because you know that the Shinobi is still lying there bleeding to death while butterflies are laying eggs in his ears and all sorts of other craziness. But it's not over yet, folks. We've got one more match against the same Nobushi. Let's see if we can take a win this time, or if we're going to get our ass kicked again. Now, the cool thing about going into a second match against the same person is that you have a better feel for what they're going to do. So if they are a person that is into patterns, if they have a specific way that they like to play, you can use that to your advantage. So let's see if something new comes out, using the super sprint, sliding under her legs, tripping her up, and using 2 light attacks as a follow-up, giving us a nice early game advantage. Hopefully we can keep it. That's the problem with going for a gimmicky start. Sometimes you mess up, you get a little high on yourself. She's tried to throw out a heavy attack, but the guard break interrupted it. So we're just about at the same level of health. Gonna throw out a ranged heavy attack, charging up for another one, canceling it out into the kick, but that's gonna run us out of stamina. This is a very dangerous position to be in. We're on the defensive. Nobushi going for a hidden stance heavy attack, then feinting that into a guard break, nearly put us in the grave. Double dash into guard break. That is one of the things that was nerfed on the Shinobi, and then following up with another double dash kick for the guaranteed heavy attack and the victory. Woof, that was a pretty intense first round. Let's see how the follow-ups go, if we can keep that level of pressure going throughout the entire match. But as dangerous as it can be to run out of stamina when you're playing as the Shinobi, the Nobushi does not have a very strong out-of-stamina game. She doesn't have the ability to punish players the same way the Warden, the Lawbringer, and other characters can. Already, though, she's off to a great start, landed 2 pokes in the chest, trying to go for 2 heavy attacks to get that Sickle Rain combo, but the second attack is going to get parried. Getting a little bit greedy there. I might be feeling myself a little bit from that first round victory, but I'm turning on the pressure, making sure that she doesn't have any room to breathe and turn on the pressure of her own. It looks like she just stood still for a minute there. I'm not sure what that was all about. Using the hidden stance very well, throwing out a kick, not going to follow up with a light attack, but then I didn't follow up with a guard break because it's a very risky situation to be in. Getting kicked in the chest again, that is a dirty foot. It is going to be enough, though, to put me in the grave. She could have let me bleed out, but she went for a guard break because she wanted to chop my damn head off and let the butterflies go to town on my decapitated corpse. So we saw a lot of, we'll call it high-level play going on there. We're going to watch a quick instant replay so you know what I'm talking about. The Nobushi, when she throws out her kick, she has the option to throw out a light attack to prevent the guaranteed guard break that you have. So when I dodged, I was anticipating a light attack, so I didn't go for a guard break, but unfortunately, she opted out of throwing it. So this is a little bit of a mind game that you can get going on. And as you can see, if you do it right, then you can end up saving yourself from a guaranteed guard break and a heavy attack follow-up. On that note, we're moving into round number 3. The score is currently 1-1, but you know, I always feel a little bit weird about saying high-level play because I'm a very modest player. I consider myself to be on the average end of things. We see another kick coming out, but no light attack follow-up, so maybe I should consider going for those guard breaks. The kick gonna connect this time. Landing and deflect that dirty foot is not gonna be enough to put us in the ground just yet. The dirty foot coming out again. We see the light attack follow-up. A lot of stuff happened there. But yeah, I've always considered myself a pretty average player. I do play a little bit more because I make so much content, but when you see mistakes like that, you know that I'm a pretty regular guy. So we're back in a deficit, a pretty big deficit. We've got to win 2 rounds in a row. We're in a pretty big deficit. We've got to win 2 rounds in a row if we want to walk away with a victory. So round number 4, we've got to get our shit back together. This is back where the first fight went off, so maybe we've got a little bit of an edge. She rolled out of the way of the super sprint slide, which negated the potential for the guard break mix-up that I was going for. Throwing out that zone attack again. It got parried, but I'm back on my game, finally blocking the light attack follow-up. getting guard broken as I go for a heavy attack, and a single top heavy from the Nobushi puts us at 50% HP. That is terrible. Throwing out 2 heavy attacks, the sickle rain combo going to connect, trying to get a ranged guard break. We could have just followed up with the 3rd hit of the sickle rain and we would have had the win, but it looks like we were trying to do some fancy shit, and that is not good when the score is 1-2. But fortunately for us, we landed a kick to the chest. We have a dirty foot of our own to use against the Nobushi, and it seems that I'm a bit upset that I couldn't get a flashy execution finish. But hey, sometimes you gotta take what you can get. We're going into the final round. The score is 2-2. But what's interesting here is that we're seeing enough variance in play from both players that it's a bit difficult to pin down exactly what's going to happen. We do know that there are a lot of kicks coming out, but we can't so much pin down if it's going to be followed up by a light attack or not. So we're being very careful, using some feints and following up with light attacks to get a big burst of damage, giving us the early game lead. This time the light attack is going to come out. I'm going to opt out of for a dodge instead of going for a parry. I might have been looking for a deflect, landing another guard break, going for that sickle rain again. It got blocked and put us out of stamina. So we've got to be careful, but again, the Nobushi does not have a strong out of stamina presence, and we saw that firsthand there. Trying to get an execution for the finish, going for a naked guard break. Fortunately, our recovery time was just enough, but it looks like I just wanted that damn victory. So I went for a zone attack one more time to finish it off. I think I used about 10 or 11 zone attacks over the course of these 3 matches. But if it works, it works. So on that note, we are going to end it here. Unfortunately, the true victor hasn't been decided because we only did 2 matches together and didn't bother for a third, a tiebreaker, if you will. But hey, they were some entertaining matches regardless. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. You can leave a request if there's a specific hero you want me to play. You can say something nice, you can say something mean, you can talk about the dirty foot, I don't care. Whatever you want to say is fine by me. Last thing before we close out, if you're still listening, someone did want me to do a match of Highlander versus Warlord, but unfortunately, I haven't seen a single Warlord over the last 3 days that I've been dueling, so if I don't fight him, I can't give you a specific matchup, so that's very unfortunate. But if there are heroes that you would like me to try out, just want to see how I do with them, if I know any special tricks, then let me know. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.